Hello traders, Cory Mitchell here with TradeThatSwing.com, and we're going to look at the current trends in play based on the major currency pairs. Of course, if you are swing trading, you could be looking at lots of different pairs, but we're just going through the majors. This article gets updated each week, and it just shows basically the breakdown of how different currencies are performing. So these are an index. This is a basket of currencies versus whatever it is. So the Swiss franc versus all these other ones as an equal weighted portfolio. So this basically gives us a general idea, and then we can look at specific pairs. What I like to do is pair a weaker one with a stronger one, and that's where you usually have the biggest movement. Because if you were to pair a really strong currency with another really strong currency, chances are those two, since they're both strong, they're against each other, they're not moving very much. So we can look at an example of why we look at these ones that are strong versus weak, or weak versus strong, however you want to think about it. And so the current ones, the USDJPY, so we have the USD down here. JPY doesn't look as strong right now, but if we look at the actual chart, it's been on this list for a long time, so it's staying on there for the moment. It's a little more distinct seeing the US dollar, Swiss franc, or even the euro up here versus the US dollar. And you could maybe mix up some of these other ones, but they're going to tend to have generally smaller movement and maybe not quite the conviction that you're going to have with these, pairs up here versus the pairs down here. So let's look at some of these. So the Swiss franc up here, the US dollar down there, and let's see what that chart looks like. So we had the big downtrend, and just noted last week, potential reversal underway. So we have this little rounded bottom type pattern. What we also notice here is, Forex, you can get some pretty deep retracements. So you had, this kind of chop here, and it bottoms out here. Price almost retraces most of that move basically to where it bottomed. And at the moment, we're seeing that kind of right now. We had this little range, and we're moving back to that range. So if this were to continue, maybe some upside left. If it really continues to drop, then it puts that reversal in jeopardy. Would wait for clearer signals. Basically, we want to trade when there's some nice trending movement. At the moment, we have that nicer trending movement. If that were to go away, then yeah, we'd look for something else. We got the US JPY, and even though it looks a little bit different on that chart, it is as mentioned here. So the JPY is there, and the US dollars here. So they're kind of leveling off. But like I said, this has been on the list for a long time, and we see something pretty similar to what we saw in the Swiss franc. So this little bit of a rounding pattern, and we've had some swings higher. Again, deep retracements, basically pulling back to where the last one reversed, and we are getting that right now as well, pulling right into that area. So again, maybe we get a move up, and this nice little trend we've been in recently continues. If it gets a little uglier, then we would wait for nicer movement. And the last one to check out, the EURUSD. And again, we have that rounded top here where, pretty strong movement, and then collapsed a bit and really took out this area here. You can see a little support area there, and we've come back to retest it. So this is basically a point where we get to see, like, okay, if we head lower, we potentially have a reversal to the downside. If we start popping back up above this high, then that again, draws the downtrend that is very recent into question, and we'd look for something cleaner or just wait for better opportunities. So that is the swing trading, Forex swing trading watch list. Again, just focused on these major currencies. You could look at many other currency pairs which are viable for day trading, but for this list it just basically shows a sample and how you can kind of pick out some pairs to watch. There's lots of information on this page, why we would pair weaker currencies, how you can use that data to find potential trades, and if you're ever wondering where this article is, because it is updated each week, at the bottom you can see historical ones from prior weeks, and Forex just right at the top there. So whether you're looking on mobile or the desktop, you can click on the Forex category, strongest and weakest Forex pairs. Happy trading out there.